Goodwood Audio Custom Shop is where it all began. Back in 2010, I think was when I was the most clueless when it came to guitar gear and how routing worked and all of that. So we offered very little, a few cables and maybe a mute switch here and there. But ultimately, the heart behind the custom shop has never changed. We want your rig to be done right the first time. What I've realized over the years is that we can't actually do this unless we care about your rig just as much, or sometimes more, than you do yourself. If we don't care, we won't ask the right questions, we won't get all the details we need, and ultimately things will be missed. We want your rig to be a tool that can be used to explore creative avenues you've never been able to access before. We want this rig to be an enhancement of your playing rather than a distraction. And I think Michael's rig will really show how we approach that and part of our system to getting you the rig that you're after. So today I just wanted to show you an example of one of these rigs. Michael recently got his rig done with us. He first heard about Goodwood Audio through YouTube, looking at an interfacer video, one of the products that we make. And after looking at that video, found out that we do some custom setup work, and he booked a call on our website. It was a free call, booked it into our calendar, and ended up chatting to me. And we were able to essentially, if I'm gonna be totally honest, suss each other out. Is this someone that I want to work with? Is essentially what we were both thinking. I was able to go through some of his list of concerns, asking him questions like, what are the most frustrating things on your current pedal board? What would your dream pedal board be able to do and allow you to focus on while you're playing your guitar? We went through a list of questions. I end up doing a whole lot more listening than talking to make sure that I actually understand the rig and where this thing needs to head. After that, we would go through his entire signal chain, from his guitar, through patch bays, his dry effects, switchers, all the way through his MIDI chain, and then out the other end to his amps. After listening to what Michael had to say, we actually realized that he needed flexible outputs across a Kemper, an Iridium, to amps if he wanted to use them, all of this across 1/4 inch and XLR outputs. Furthermore, Michael needed to be able to run a combination of one amp or one output, dual mono, stereo, wet dry, and wet dry wet. We ended up making him one of our wet dry wet custom junctions, allowing him to do all of this across 1/4 inch and XLR out. Modified his Creation Elevation pedal board so that we were actually able to do all of these inputs and outputs cleanly and effectively, and ultimately make it easy for him to use his pedal board. It is a big board, and we go through the effects. Which ones do you not think you're going to use? Which ones could you do without, and which ones do you have to have? And came up with this iteration of his pedal board. Lastly, Michael did not want to be left in the deep end once his board was finished. And so we basically need to check in with him now. He just recently got his board, and at the 6-week mark, we end up checking in with all of our customers. And I do mean all. Whether you order a single anchor off of our website, one of those little things you attach a cable to, an anchor or a zip tie, all the way up to getting a full custom rig, you hear from us. Sorry if you don't want to, but we love checking in and making sure you're happy with what you've got, you don't have questions, and that you are able to move forward with your rig. What a piece of gear that will now allow him to be creative, focus on playing the guitar rather than head down, tap dancing all over the place and missing cues from the rest of his band. We're really hoping that this will be a rig that Michael can use for years to come and allow him to play guitar and take him down creative pathways that he never thought imaginable. The last thing I want this video to be is a pat on the back for Goodwood Audio. Rather, what I really wanted to communicate was that we love what we get to do. We are passionate about doing it, and we love the fact that our 9 to 5 is getting to work on people's setups, junction boxes, making them cables, and ultimately how we look at it here at Goodwood Audio. As soon as you buy one of our cables, as soon as you get a setup, a junction box, an anchor or a zip tie like I was talking about before, we are now a part of your story. Whether you are top of the top 40 list or you're playing a gig once a month at a local pub, we get to be part of your creative journey, and what a privilege it is. So in advance, thank you for everyone that is going to support us in future and everyone that has bought from us and supported us in the past. It allows us to do what we love and get you guys some great rigs. I hope this has been a little bit of an insight into the background of Goodwood Audio Custom Shop. Looking forward to many rigs to come. See you guys soon.